Today I'm going to show you how to make this thing right here, this weird and explainable thing. And I'm gonna take you step by step from sketching all the way to making the scene and rendering. So okay, first thing we should do is I'm gonna begin by writing my name in a weird way, I should say. I'm gonna start by this layer, which gonna be the sketch, and after finishing it I'm gonna lower the transparency to something like 50%, and then afterwards I'm going to create a new layer. This layer is gonna be the base layer, which would have the thicker parts of the name we're gonna draw. About this effect of how the brush gets bigger as I draw more, I achieved that by using a drawing pad, or you could use your phone to draw this. You can use an app called Sketchbook. I've been using that app for like 10 years now. I've been like drawing on that app since I was like 13. After finishing this part, the second part is you're gonna make another layer, and then we're gonna draw other spikes on the edges. Like we're gonna draw more thick spikes, and then you are going to create another layer where you would draw spikes that are smaller, and you're gonna draw a lot of them all around the shape or the whatever we're drawing. Try to draw taller ones, like these gonna be taller but thinner, and you can add as much as you want. And about these spikes, try to draw taller ones, like spikes that goes taller than the previous ones that are shorter and thicker. These gonna be taller but thinner, so the shape can still have that readability. I would say it's still readable, you can still read the name, so it doesn't interfere with how you can read the word. You can still read it. If the spikes you're drawing like overlapped with each other, it's okay. And in the end I added these like dripping liquid like things all over the shape, and as I said previously, it's not a problem if they overlapped with the other spikes. And after that you're going to adjust the contrast and like max it out, so there won't be any grayish parts inside this drawing. And then you're gonna export it as any image format you want. The next step is we're gonna open Blender, and the most important thing about opening Blender is deleting the default cube. Never ever let me catch you not deleting the default cube. I will come to your house and I will... Anyways, open Blender, and then the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna create a plane, and then you gotta add an image, a reference image. Why? So we can resize that plane to match the resolution of our image that we're working with. And then you're gonna delete the reference image. So after resizing the plane, you're gonna cut it in half so we can subdivide it in a good way. Because if you don't cut it in half, the subdivisions are not gonna be like matching. The squares are gonna be rectangles instead of squares, which something we don't want. Okay, and then you are going to subdivide this plane. You're gonna subdivide it like 2, 3, 4 times something. But why we are subdividing it? Because we are going to use a displacement map. So you go to modifiers and you go to displacement, and you're gonna click on new, and you're gonna go to this part, this place, it's called textures, and open, and then we're gonna select the image we created. And then you can see right now there's a little problem I did here, which is I flipped the colors. It's supposed to be like a black background with white writing, but I did the opposite. But we can easily fix that by just writing -1 in strength value. And you can see the resolution of the mesh we're creating. You can see the vertices, like how they behave. When there's a lot lower vertices, the mesh is like basically gonna be less accurate to the image we want. Also, by the way, you don't have to have like 100% accurate, as long as it looks good from like far, because we can refine the details afterwards. We will refine the details afterwards. So it doesn't matter if the plane doesn't have that high vertex count. And then we're gonna click apply and apply the modifier. And then we're gonna go to edit mode and select the lower part, the base. And we're going to delete it. And then we are going to resize the Z value and shrink it like this. While editing, I just remembered that I forgot to tell you to extrude the mesh. Thank you. And then we are going to go to remesh modifier. By the way, if the remesh modifier doesn't work, it means that you gotta firstly play with the values there, but also you gotta know that you have to play with the proportions, like the size of the mesh. Because if it's too small, it's not gonna, the remesh is not gonna calculate it well, and it's just like you're gonna end up with a lower resolution thing. You gotta scale up the mesh in edit mode. I talked a lot. After that, click on apply, and then voila, you have the mesh. But we're gonna add more details by sculpting the mesh. So we are going to go to sculpt mode. And then the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna give it this, we're gonna use two tools. This tool that is gonna have this like, it's called inflate, and it's gonna have this bloating effect, like you're going to bloat to make it like more 3D. And then we're gonna use the smooth brush, which smooths that, like those edges, those spikes, it smooths them and make them more like organic, like more like, it makes them more 3D. It gives them more depth. So you're gonna use this inflate tool all over the mesh, especially in the letters, like the bulk of the letters, the thicker lines, to make them more obvious, like more readable. And then you can use the crease tool to add these like wounds all over the mesh. And then and only then you can smooth more places, and you can use these tools to make some spikes longer and like to stretch them more, especially the dripping parts. They look way more beautiful when they're like more stretched. And you can use, like, you go back and forth between like stretching them, smoothing them, inflating them, stretching them, smoothing them, like back and forth till you get the result you want. And then in the thicker parts, especially within those places that have like holes, we're gonna use the smooth modifier, and then I'm gonna give it this effect like it's you know when the metal like have rust and it's like carved, like we're gonna give it this effect. And you can play with the tools as much as you want to give it like more metallic, more like more harsh feeling, more edgy, I would say, feeling to it. You can also use this tool which called multiplane scrape. It's a very good brush which give it this feeling of more like a realistic metallic object. And as I said, you can add as much details as you want. Just continue to add details, continue to stretch the spikes, and continue to smooth them, and go back and forth between all the brushes till you achieve a good result. And then we're going to go to UV editing, and then we are going to go to edit mode and do smart UV unwrap to the whole object. I know it's an unpractical thing to do because this object have a lot of vertices, and usually when we do UV unwrapping, it's usually for the lower polygons objects. But I know it's stupid, but anyways. And after UV unwrapping the thing, you gotta export it as FBX, and before you export it, you gotta check if the normals are facing the correct way, because sometimes you would export the object into, as example, we're going to use, by the way, you can use a metallic material and like it's gonna look good, but I'm gonna take it a step further, and I'm gonna take this object to Substance Painter and do a specific texture just for it. As I was saying, be careful with the normals, because sometimes the normals are flipped, and you export the object and import it inside Substance Painter, and then you'll be surprised why the object looks like that. it's because the normals are flipped. You can do that by clicking Alt N and then reverse the normals. Anyways, as I said, you're gonna export this mesh and then import it in Substance Painter. So in this step, we are going to use Substance Painter. I don't know if you know how to use Substance Painter or not, but I'm not gonna give you a really detailed explanation about how to use it, because you can already use just a metallic texture and it will look good on the mesh. Like, just try to find a metallic texture and strap it on it, it will look good. But anyways, when you enter Substance Painter, first thing you're gonna do is bake mesh maps. You're gonna click on that and then you're gonna go to high definition mesh and you're gonna reselect the mesh that we are using. I don't know why use low poly mesh as high poly mesh option didn't work so well. I don't know why, but this works so well. And you're gonna also go to output size and choose like 4000 something. Also, click on bake selected textures and then return to painting mode. Okay, I'm gonna show you how this works. Firstly, you're gonna drag and drop. That's it. Anyways, you're gonna go to Smart Materials and drag a metallic material and drop it. By the way, if you notice that the resolution of the texture is low, you're gonna go to Texture, Set Settings, and then you're gonna click on Size and then change it to 4096. Also, if you wanna take it a step further and you wanna make it look good, we're gonna give it this edge wear effect. So you're gonna drag another Smart Material and drop it above that, and then you're gonna create a black mask, add black mask, and then select the black mask and then add generator. And on the generator tab, click on the generator and write edge and select the second thing. And then you can see it gives this effect, this very cool effect. You can play with the settings as much as you want to achieve a look that you like. But anyways, so we're done here. We're gonna export the textures and that's it. That's it with Substance Painter. Now we're gonna go back to Blender. And before going back to Blender, you can also edit the textures on Photoshop, like make the roughness more black and make the metal texture more white, so it can be more like reflective. So now you're gonna go to shading and select the textures we created, join them or connect them with the principal BD, anyways, BDS, whatever, just connect them with that stuff. And also for the normal matte texture, there's a very important thing that you might not know if you're a little bit of a beginner to Blender. Always go to color space and instead of sRGB, select non-color, because that's how it works. Afterwards, now, the scene I worked with is pretty easy actually, it's pretty easy. Just gonna add a little bit of light areas. Light area above, light area on the sides, light area on the below it. And also for the world settings, you gotta go to color and change it to black for black background and stuff like that. And then that's it. And that's it. Here's the thing you were asking for. You can support me by subscribing to my channel. That means a lot to me. I kind of think about trying to reach like 100k on this channel. I might do this if I was consistent with uploading. But anyways, you can support me by subscribing, and that's it. You can also play August Night, which is my video. Oh my god, I'm like 8 years old or something. You can play my game, which is called August Night. You can download it for free and play it and share it with friends. It means a lot to me. And also tell me how did you piss your pants when you played it or not. That means a lot to me too. No, I don't. That's weird. That's just. Anyways, let's finish this video. See ya.